culture, freedom, and the occasional hot take served cold, just like your beer. If you're easily offended, this probably isn't the podcast for you.
Ooh.
Beer buds in the big sky. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and let's get into it. For tonight's host, we have Steve Quinnell.
Hey, guys. I'm getting old. I'm
Yeah,
getting
you are.
really old.
Yeah.
I can't remember a year ago when things were so bad in this country.
Oh, they were horrible.
That America was so unsafe that we needed to unleash this force of masked agents into our streets.
Yes.
To keep us safe and to kill people. I just don't remember that.
Well, it's been there. You must have been sleeping.
Ryan Hennon.
You know, guys, growing up, I never thought I'd live to see the FIFA Peace Prize desecrated like this.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I'm just so happy it went to the right person.
Ed Doctor.
You know, this woman yesterday didn't die because she was a threat or a criminal. This was created and orchestrated by this administration. I'm fucking sick of it. The division. Last time he was president, we had this. Now he's president, we have this. And I think the thing that sucks the most is there's a big part of the country that just loves this turmoil. The media being one of them. You know, they're banking off this shit, you know, and all of it's wrong. And he's putting it out there. And I'm wondering if he's still trying to hide from something over all of this. You know, if a 37-year-old woman's got to die and we don't talk about Epstein one more day, maybe it's worth it, huh?
Yep.
I don't know, Ed.
And also another leftist asshole from California is joining the show tonight. Paul Lance.
Paul, for
Yeah, I'm glad I
equality.
can make it. I had 38 transgender surgeries today. I let in 300 million undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, you were busy.
And I just went to 2 drag show readings, so I'm glad I made it in time.
That was before lunch.
Yeah.
That was before lunch, yeah.
How many books did you burn in the process of that?
Oh, I did do books. I just burnt like 3,000 American flags.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. I skipped the books today.
So, Paul, you know, a little bit about yourself. You know, I've ran into your YouTube channel and stuff, and it's pretty interesting stuff. And your story, you know, kind of just tell us a little bit about, you know, when you're like, I voted for Trump, I've been voting Republican, and a month into Trump, you're like, okay, fuck it. I got to find out about this, you know, Christian nationalism, this white supremacy, like all this shit's fucked. What brought you to that? Like, because it's crazy to be a Republican voting for Trump, and then boom, you just fucking 180.
You know, I grew up a Republican, and I grew up in a Baptist church.
Whoa, whoa, that's
I
serious.
was. That was weird. You know, I wasn't very political.
These guys
I
are
was
atheists,
actually
Paul.
just didn't. Oh, whatever. I don't care. You guys are probably more Christian than most people that sit in a church, so
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I was about morality and decency. I voted for John McCain and Barack Obama. I wasn't like stuck in tribalism. And the moment this guy got elected and he started just demeaning people, I left the party.
Yeah.
Because I thought was the Republican Party perfect? No, but like it was just the man was, you know, I watched a little bit of Fox. I didn't watch a lot. I wasn't very engaged. But once he took office, it was lie after lie after lie after lie. And I'm like, what does this party stand for? This was the party of Lincoln, the party of family values. This man he rapes women and grabs women by the PUSSY, cheats on his wife. I'm like, what the hell do you people stand for anymore?
Yeah.
Well, at least he cheated on her with like a porn star. I mean, that's a little higher class, I guess.
And then tried to pay her with business money.
Yeah, with business money. You know, I mean, what else is he paid for? But it is interesting, you know. And you're obviously not the only one. You know, it's you know the ones that scare me are the ones that haven't seen through this bullshit. Which, you know, I think what happened yesterday proves a lot of that. I mean, this. Yep. I mean, there are, you know, we're going to get into this a little bit later. But watching the things you've talked about, the things that you know, where you got to where you are, and it's interesting. And you say something that, you know, that I want to ask you about, and you say, when are Americans going to become uncomfortable? You know, and like, and like after yesterday. Are we closer to Americans being uncomfortable with what's going on? Like what? I mean, I would think, but after watching the news, I don't think so.
No.
Nope. Fuck.
I don't.
Fuck. That's not the answer I wanted, Paul.
I wish that was the case. This is just my take. I believe that too many white people are uncomfortable right now. And I think, and I'm just going to go historical. If you go back to 1619, when we brought slaves over, right? White people for generation after generation just sat by and watched it happen because it didn't affect them. And even now, when all this is happening, the most that people could do is the No Kings protest. What was it? April, July, and October? Good job, white people. Way to go. Way to fight fascism.
You know what? I know I got a little pushback a couple months ago. We talked about it. I'm like, I don't think this shit matters at all. It's like fucking less than 2% of the country doing this. I think you kind of, they're more like laughing stocks because, you still got the Rogan crowd that votes, these macho people, these Republicans, and people that are independents that like being associated with this tough guy attitude thing. That's not fucking doing it. To me, especially after yesterday, if the Democrats, want to show they have a spine at all, which, honestly, they don't. And it sucks. And it's hard to support them, I mean, it really is. But I think you're right. America.
Who are you going to support, though? I mean, that's
who are you going to support? You're right. Jesus. I mean, I voted for Harris. It's not like I thought she was a fucking dream come true. You know what I mean? But I also thought, which her campaign and all the consultants thought, well, she wasn't Trump, so she'll probably win. And obviously, that was fucking really stupid strategy. You gotta fix things. You gotta tell people how you're gonna fix things. I mean, not everybody's Donald Trump. Not everybody's gonna say everything's gonna be cheaper day one. I mean, and a lot of people believe that.
Some people are raised not to lie to people. Some people,
Right.
some people are raised with human decency in their family.
But to a lot of the cult, he doesn't lie.
He's
He's
never
never
care
lied.
of each other.
He's never lied. He's never, that's a lot of these people believe that.
If that's what they
So
believe,
fucking stupid.
then they are in a cult at that point. If they don't believe, if they believe all those lies, then you're never going to fight that kind of stupid.
I think that's part of it. This is what I think. These people went to the voting booths, 77 million people. And I got family that I don't talk to because I don't want to be around them. That's just my opinion. They voted for a rapist, a child molester, a pedophile, a felon. 5 officers died and haven't been here for Christmases and anniversaries. And they said, yep, that's my guy because Jesus told me to. They're sick people. They just didn't want to vote for the black woman. And I wish they would at least have the damn balls to say it instead of about gas, because I just saw a story about a sawmill guy in North Carolina. 6 generations.
Yeah.
Blamed Trump for the tariffs, and he would still vote for him again. I thought it was about eggs.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was a hardwood sawmill too. I mean, that's kind of a hard one to go out of business because you got to plan way ahead to stay in
ridiculous.
wood in a sawmill like that. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
And he did the same thing during 2017 because he's so stupid that he started this trade war with China, right?
Yeah.
We went down to $3 billion a year. These socialist farmers that hate socialism because it's the boogeyman wanted $25 billion.
Yeah.
And they put the dumbass back in office again. And now they haven't sold soybeans the whole year, but they're like, oh, he's so great. Vote for him in 28.
Hey,
Well,
$12 billion, $12 billion bailout.
The billionaires are raking it in. The income gap is growing. I mean, it's everything perfectly to plan for him. A guy like me goes to fucking Lowe's today because I can't, for some reason, I buy phone chargers, but they disappear. I don't know what some fucking vortex that they fucking end up in. But so at Lowe's, for like the last fucking year,
with all your single
I
socks.
gotta buy them a lot, But it's $4.99. They got a whole fucking thing of them, all different kinds, iPhone, Android, whatever. $4.99. They're fucking $10.89 now.
Yeah.
Okay? I just went and put tires on my truck. They're up 20% than they were a year and a half ago. Fucking tires, rubber. I guess we're importing that. I don't know. But
there aren't any rubber trees here. In,
it's just it's insane that the people will put up with anything, higher costs and everything because they either believe it's going to still come down at some point, which it's not. But when you see these people just making this insane amount of wealth off of all this going on, and they keep making it while he just creates more and more turmoil.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's for him. It's him and Steve Bannon's no fucking idiot. He's no idiot. Chaos. Cause
they're
chaos.
not stupid. They're not stupid on that part of it. They've got their master stupidity person in the right place right now.
No, he's
for
good
whatever
at it.
reason.
He's
I still can't find what is charismatic about this guy. He is old and he's fat.
He's
ugly.
funny.
He's not even funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
These guys think he's hilarious. He's a dipshit.
He can be pretty funny.
That is funny.
Some of the stuff he says that is sarcastic could be considered funny, but it's not funny when you look at what's actually fucking happening
when you
from
rename
his
the Kennedy
policies.
Center. It should be called the Trump Center. We'll leave
that's
Kennedy
funny.
in just because he was a guy.
For this guy to not be in politics and then to stand in front of the Joint Chiefs of Command and say, "I know more about ISIS than all the generals," like that is very funny.
That's
It's so
fucking-
ridiculous.
That's
You
exactly.
think that's funny, Paul? You think that's funny, Paul?
All right, let's
You
go.
know, MAGA supporters don't vote for themselves. They vote against Democrats. And I think a lot of people miss that.
Yeah.
These
left does
people
it
could be
too.
eating, they do, but
But you're right.
what the Republicans have done is you and I see that the rich people are screwing us, right?
Yep.
What people on the right have done is kept their people stupid, and they've weaponized their ignorance and their inbreeding and their concepts of brains and their white supremacy, right? And every election, they say, look at your shitty life, Bob. You live in a trailer and you hook up to your mom's Wi-Fi and you date your sister. It's not your fault. It's the liberals. Vote for me. I'll fix it. And then they vote for them.
right.
They don't fix shit. Then they give tax breaks to the rich people. They stay in power. Well, this time it was the immigrants. And then it's the transgenders. And then it's the gays. And then it's the tampons in the bathrooms.
Yep.
And they get them so pissed off and angry that they thought this guy that takes a crap in a gold toilet, who was a rapist and a convicted felon, somehow it was the brown people coming from Mexico making $10 an hour that was destroying America. I mean, they're idiots.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It really hurt America.
And let's put ice in the streets. Let's put ice in the
Well,
streets.
and then you hire a bunch of the J6ers because they needed jobs. Give them $50,000 to sign up to be ICE agents.
Yeah.
Because I think you need racist dumb fucks to do this
Well,
job. I mean, you
the
think
guy
about-
who's hooking up
what-
to his mom's Wi-Fi was the first in line.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? And they know exactly what was going to happen yesterday. What's going to keep happening is you put a bunch of dumb fuck, uneducated,
It happened tonight in
untrained
Portland.
people. I mean, like, think about what they're going through for training. Can you sign your name? You're a fucking ICE agent. Holy fuck, you know?
Your name is X? Well, that counts. Whatever.
X, that works. All right, let's go to
I
question
think
two.
it's, are you white?
Yeah.
Are you an
Yeah.
angry, are you mediocre
I've
white
seen
man
black
and you
ice,
have a
though.
3% tattoo on your hand? Okay, you're qualified. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Christian flag tattoo.
You know, being from California, it makes me think of one of my favorite quotes from John Steinbeck, where he says, you know, in America, there are no poor people, just temporarily frustrated millionaires.
Steinbeck said that?
Yeah,
Which
that's an old.
book?
I don't know. It might just been a.
East of Eden, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. It might just been an
Steinbeck? No, it
interview
was-
or something.
I think that was.
So I got a question for you, Paul. So you know, we were talking earlier before the show. You know, you've been critical of Tim Walz, and you know, rarely have we seen a presidential ticket. You know, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz fall from grace like we have with those two. Do you think that the Democrats need to make more of an effort to push out their failed leaders?
I think that they suck ass. I just do.
So that's
I
a
mean,
yes.
this guy wanted to be the vice president just a year ago. And I criticize everybody that I voted for. I don't like the fact that Harris was MIA for like 8 months.
Yeah.
Like, we needed people, like 75 million people voted for Harris. They wanted her to be the president. She should have been there in December, January, February, March, April, May. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's not
you're
her
right.
fault that she lost. But these people said she raised $1 billion.
Right? Where did the
And
money
then she
go?
just disappears for half a year.
Yeah.
Well, vacations
just
in the
don't understand
Maldives
that.
are expensive. That's probably where she
Well-
was.
And there's too many people that can't have that criticism of their elected officials. They say, now's not the time, now's not the time. And we get stuck in this abusive relationship where we're going to say this in 26, 28, 30, 32. When is the time? Because it never seems like that year comes up. Maybe you guys can tell me when's the time.
Yeah, no. Well, and you know what? I see you, we see us, and we see a lot of other podcasters and influencers out there ripping apart the left, even though they openly admit voting for the left because the right is this bad. Yeah. But I don't see that on the right. You don't see the right ripping on the right, except for the last Charlie Kirk Fest or whatever. There was some of that. Ben Shapiro started some fucking fires. But for the most part, these Republicans and their followers, all these people, they're in line. They're lockstep in line because, well, they got abortion and they got masculinity, and that's fucking number 1 and 2 to them. And Democrats, you know, and I give Democrats way more credit for criticizing their own, even though it's not really helping. They probably need more.
Wait till the Republicans lose an election, then it'll flip flop and they'll be the ones eating each other up.
And Democrats will fuck up.
That's what happened especially after the second Barack Obama victory.
But it definitely happened after Trump, and he wins again. That shows America's short memory, and that we're known for that.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let's just say the Democrats somehow win after the Supreme Court is likely in June or July going to overturn the Voting Rights Act, and these red dumbass racist states are going to basically gerrymander black people out of districts.
Yep.
Let's just say that some miracle that the Democrats win the midterms. What is your confidence that actually Jeffries and that dinosaur Chuck Schumer that should be in Jurassic Park is actually going to do any damn thing to change anything?
Think of a number less than 0.
Yeah, probably less, a lot less than 0.
That's what I would say. If I say 0, it means I've been kidnapped and I'm trying to send a
I'm
signal.
Chuck Schumer, and I'm trying to make a law here. What do you do?
Yeah, fuck that guy, dude.
I tell you what's going to happen.
I agree.
If they're gonna rush in and try to impeach, and that's not what people want. People want to be governed. They want their fucking
Oh,
health
they're gonna
care.
impeach him for sure.
They want government to work again. They want health care. They want their taxes lowered on the lowest and raised on the richest.
I think
they
he's a
want
lame
they
duck
want
now,
a country that's not $38 trillion in debt. They need to deliver on those things. If they can deliver on those things, that's great. But if they rush in and start talking about impeachment, that's the same. That's the Kamala Harris ticket. That's the "we're not Trump" ticket, and that's not what government should do. They have to. I mean, they can criticize. They need to be critical. They need to hold people accountable on the right for who've done all the crazy shit that they've done. And at the same time, they need to put together plans that's going to get shit done for people. And then they need to stand on the rooftops and shout about how well they've done. I mean, the infrastructure bill that Biden passed, red states are fucking loving the money that's coming to them from that bill, even though a lot of it's been cut out.
I want
from
my
Trump.
Doge check.
But, these things, those are the kinds of things that have to happen. And
Yeah, they didn't take credit for the wins that they got, and I put that on Biden. He did a crappy job of taking credit for his wins, and I blame Joe Biden for not firing Merrick Garland. He was an utter disaster, and he should have dropped the long arm alarm on people. And Biden just wanted to be a nice guy.
Yep.
You know, and what's crazy is you knew if Donald Trump's coming, so's the fucking wrath. And everything him and this Republican Party says that they're accusing the left of weaponizing the Justice Department, you know goddamn well they're going to fucking do it. And they're going to do it on fucking steroids because that is exactly what's going on. Every one of these fuckers works for Donald. They don't work for us at all anymore. They are working for one president. And it's funny to watch all these 2A people and all the fucking conspiracy theorists, all the militia guys, just sit here and just fucking lap it up and fucking love it because their guy's in charge. Their guy doesn't give a fuck about, nobody gives a fuck about these people. Nobody takes them seriously, but they're in this fucking la-la land now that everything's perfect because we're getting brown people off the streets.
You know who does care about them? You know who cares about them? Democrats do, because Democrats are ones that want to strengthen the safety net, and these are the people that are firmly bouncing off of the safety net. They have fallen off of the fucking trapeze, and they're in midair. And when they realize there's no safety net, guess who they're going to blame it on? Yeah, they're going to blame it on the Democrats. Yeah,
they're blaming it on
or
fags.
they're going to blame all the money. All the money went to transgender operations for prisons. Remember that?
Well, that's true.
And when you go back and look at that, right? Look at that whole election cycle. How many Democrats said, "Hey, listen, rapist, give me the names of 50 schools that teach CRT.
Yeah.
Give me the names of 50 black people that weren't qualified as DEI. Give me the names." Why didn't any Democrat do that? That's my problem.
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
know.
I kind of.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if there's enough time in the day.
I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, and Democrats just aren't that way. Now look at Republicans, okay? Charlie Kirk dies. They want to put a fucking statue in every goddamn fucking high school in this fucking country. Ashley Babbitt, they want to memorialize, give her fucking family billions of dollars. But when a kid gets killed in a fucking school shooting, thoughts and prayers, whatever, move the fuck on. No half-mast flag for the fucking the National Guard lady that died. No half-mast flag for her. But for Charlie Kirk, he got the fucking flags at half-mast in every motherfucking red state.
Well, he is a
It's because-
podcaster. It's a very important position.
True, that's
Yeah,
true.
I know. He was a racist podcaster. Listen, he was a piece of shit.
He
He's
was.
such
He
a
said-
piece
he
of
said-
fucking shit. And this
was.
country wants to immortalize him. I mean, what the
Because
fuck?
It's because he symbolizes the white male patriarchy.
Yep.
When we have diversity, women in places of power, whether they're Muslim or Afghan or Indian, these young
Scary.
white men are losing their shit because what they've seen is silver spoons and Leave It to Beaver and Happy Days and everybody's white and everybody in power is white. And they're going, oh my God, I need to control women. Why am I not at the head of the table anymore? And they don't know what to do with themselves.
They think
They're
Jesus
angry
was white.
guys.
Right.
They think Jesus
Yeah.
is white. Yeah.
They also think this was a Christian nation when we
Yeah.
lynched black people in trees on Sunday at 11 a.m. Praise Jesus because we're pro-life.
So kind of piggybacking on that, Paul, what is the temperature like in California towards Kamala Harris? And because there's always the rumor that she might run again in 2028, or she thought about running for governor of California, and then she decided not to do that. So what?
Because nobody likes her.
Yeah. What is it like in California? How do people think about Kamala there?
I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people about that, honestly. I've been in my own little bubble over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of more interested in the governor's race between like Katie Porter and now that Eric Swalwell jumped in, ironically, he's my congressman. So
okay,
I've actually I'm deciding if I actually want to run for that seat because there's nobody running.
Yeah, you should do it.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah,
So you mentioned Swalwell, and apparently he's another guy that takes money from AIPAC. And I was talking about
$200,000.
I was talking about this with, talking about these guys about when we talk about a collaboration in the terms of like there's 4 talking points that are pretty important in this country and that could affect this next election. And I think a lot of us want to help Democrats. So we do talk about affordability. It's not a hoax.
Yep.
We do talk about health care. I mean, that's a big deal. Income inequality. Big fucking deal. Getting worse. And now people are starting to talk about it. And another thing people are talking about is AIPAC. A year ago, that was never brought up. Now, because of Candace Owens, I think Shapiro, I think these people, a lot of them are the right-wing podcasters, but a lot of people like us now are talking about it. And this could be something coming up where, you expose these people. Because I think Swalwell's funny. I think he's a decent guy. He doesn't give me a vibe that I don't really trust him. And I can't even say I blame anybody for taking the AIPAC money because they're giving it to them. It is how it works. This is
politics,
government under capitalism to its core. But I find it interesting. I don't know if you knew this, but I bet you did. There's one congresswoman that doesn't take money from AIPAC. Ilhan Omar.
I was going to say it's got to
Ilhan Omar.
It's got to be Elon.
And she owns no fucking stocks, and she doesn't take money from AIPAC.
Right.
She's the only fucking one.
AOC is another one.
Oh, AOC doesn't. That's right.
And there's a congresswoman up here in California, Alameda County, that hasn't taken it.
Nice.
But I actually interviewed Eric Swalwell about 5 months ago.
Oh, cool.
wow.
I actually don't like him anymore because of
Was
that.
he on
And
your
here's why.
YouTube?
He's on there, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fuck, I gotta watch that.
Hey, Paul, I got
So-
a question for you.
Wait, let him finish this. I want to hear about Eric.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
This is why, because I really think that a general strike would stop a lot of this if people stopped spending and protested every day, because that's what France did back with the Wildcat strike back in the day.
Yeah.
But
It
he
would
said,
work.
he told me something that really, it was unsettling to me. He said, when we had the majority under Biden, we should have reversed Citizens United, which he's right. We should have stacked the Supreme Court, and we should have raised minimum wage. But we tried to be too moderate. That's my problem with the Democrats.
Well.
They're not willing to progress this country in the right direction because they keep trying to bring in more people that are moderate.
Yep.
The big
And
They do.
I just don't like that. And then the other thing that struck me with Swalwell is, have you seen the votes from the Racist Podcasters Day of Remembrance, which happens to be my birthday? Lucky me.
And George Floyd.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And George Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric
Oddly
Swalwell didn't even vote.
Oh.
Oh,
Hakeem
that's
Jeffries
right.
voted yes. Hakeem Jeffries, a black man, said, yes, I want to remember Charlie Kirk, the man who said that Justice Brown is a DEI hire and the whites and that the blacks are replacing white people. This is the guy that he voted for.
Yeah, why the fuck would Hakeem why would he appease anybody on the right? Why would you do that?
No.
Why is Newsom interviewing Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon, a convicted felon?
Yeah.
Right. I know. I didn't agree with it either, but at the same point, I do get the, hey, you have to cross that bridge and you got to talk to these people. I get that part of it, but not the Bannon and the Kirk part. You know what I'm saying? George Will part, yeah. Conservatives out there that make sense, that are good people, that aren't disparaging everybody except white men. Like, fuck these misogynist bitches. How the fuck do you get any goddamn credibility when you're fucking interviewing these cocksuckers? I mean, you want to interview somebody fucking smart, Not this asshole that appeals to 30% of the fucking country.
Does Gavin
Sorry, I
Newsom really
ranted.
think that if he sits down with Stephen Bannon, a convicted felon, that Republicans are going to go, oh,
Yeah,
that's so nice. Now I'm going to vote for Newsom.
I vote for Newsom. He's
Stupid.
friends with Bannon.
he's
Fucking A.
He's so moderate.
Exactly.
He's doing the
so
opposite.
moderate.
He's
It's a
It's
pushing
a joke.
He's pushing liberals away is what
You're
he's
right.
doing instead of bringing more people into the tent.
That's what I thought. That's fucked
Makes it
up.
harder for him to win the liberal vote.
Oh my God.
Paul, I got a question for you. I've watched several of your videos now in my spare time, which I don't have too much of, but
Oh, here we go.
I'll cry my river later. These guys love me for that.
No. He's the funny one.
Anyway,
Oh, God.
you said you grew up Baptist. These guys are completely off the wall atheists. I mean, they hate
shut up.
anytime.
I'm a confirmed Catholic.
Anytime somebody
Yeah,
says the
me
word
too.
Jesus, they get
I was
goosebumps
baptized.
and they duck and they look around.
In vodka.
I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear your take on this white Christian nationalism that is part of the MAGA movement, and how what are the ways to fight back for Christians that don't believe in this bullshit version of Christianity that these people are peddling?
Because you're into this,
I would
right?
say, I would say it's not Christianity at all. It's actually, I would actually argue that MAGA has more in common with Satan. They both believe in God. They both weaponize religion, and neither one of them follow him. This is just white supremacy through the evangelical church that pushes the white male patriarchy. And listen, I was named after Paul. I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're agnostic, if you worship a grasshopper. I don't care if you marry a man, a woman. It's none of my damn business. Because you and I have free will. You live your life the way that makes you happy.
So far.
And I live my life the way I want. Now, when I tell you and I put the 10 Commandments in your house or your school, that's taking away your free will. And it has to be people like me that are pushing back, because this is not Christianity. It's just white supremacy. What do they call it? Like, it's drag queen Christianity or something like that. Something I heard.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with God. I mean, because look, and one of the things that they do in the evangelical church, and this started with Jerry Falwell, abortion, 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 abortion. Okay, cool. Let's just I don't want to go on a tangent, but just for a second, right? You're pro-life, cool. But you voted for a man who rapes women. You didn't care about their lives. You didn't care about the little girls that he molested. You didn't care about their lives. You didn't care about the lives of Officer Sinek. You don't care about the lives of the 14 million children that go to school hungry. You don't care about the 800,000 that are homeless. You don't care about the 41,000 that die from gun violence. You don't care if people have universal health care. So what in the hell are you pro-life about? Because even in Texas, they have a 56% increased sepsis rate, which means they're detecting fetal abnormalities. And these pro-life Christians, because they love Jesus, they're forcing these women to give birth, and then they're dying and having to bury them. Mm-hmm. They're not pro-life. It's a bullshit, ignorant, stupid white people thing, because what happens is when you grow up in the white evangelical church, they tell you, right, this whole law and order crap, right? You're going to burn in hell. You're a sinner. You better do this. You're going to lose your job if you tell a sin. You're going to burn in hell if you watch porn. And it creates this thing where everything is Levitical, Levitical, Levitical. And then the whole loving thy neighbor, having empathy, forgiveness, it's completely thrown out the window, and they spend their whole lives judging people.
Yep.
They lost me at you can't mastermate. Like, what the fuck? Fuck you. I'm a Satan's child now.
They crash Grinder every time they're at.
Yeah, they do.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
We know exactly what they're doing.
Closet fucking homos. Most of them.
Do they have an abridged version of the New Testament or something that they're reading from that I don't know about? That, there's like the King James MAGA version or something that we just don't know about.
Yeah, it's all the text that's in red. Jesus' words, they take those out.
Oh, okay. Jesus, they take the Jesus words out. Okay.
I actually have an interesting take. I actually believe, and I know this is going to sound weird, I actually believe that God sent Trump here to expose the moral rot within the church. Because every person that wears a red hat, that wears a fuck Joe Biden shirt and Joe in the Hope bumper sticker, that sit there in Jesus and talk about building your wealth in heaven and loving thy neighbor, the only thing they vote for is what? Money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it not easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven?
I remember that from church.
Yep. Now, let me take it one step further. Every 4 years, they ask their voters this one question. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Not are we better off, are you better off? Oh. And that is a very, very selfish question. And it focuses it only on you, not about giving a damn about your fellow. So if I ever ran for president, that would be my platform. Are we better off than we were 4 years ago? I think that's the right question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's
Wow, I
good.
like that. Wow,
That
heavy.
sounds like socialism.
Paul's a pretty smart guy.
He is a
Yeah.
smart
We're
guy.
lucky to be in the room with this guy.
Yeah, you made Ed shut up for like almost 2 whole minutes
Shut
there.
up.
Right,
So,
first
all right.
episode ever.
Hey, you had to sell your PlayStation to pay rent, I heard? At one point
When I
in your
was-
life? I mean, goddamn. I'm
That's
glad to see
depressing.
you where you are now.
Yeah, I was pretty poor. I worked at UPS up in Tualatin, Oregon, and I was about 3.5 miles from work, and I worked a twilight shift, which is like 4:30 to 8 or something like that. And I couldn't even afford a bike. And then I finally got a car from my buddy that was the best man at my wedding, and I couldn't pay rent one time, and I had to sell my PlayStation. Then another time I couldn't buy gas, and I had to sell my Spawn comic book collection.
Oh, no. Goddamn. Well, here you are
Yep.
now. You got your silver YouTube award behind you. I'm fucking jealous of that
Yeah,
for sure.
we are
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
There it is.
Yeah.
You know, you said you voted for Kamala because you wanted something else and something that, and that is, in my opinion, and this is piggybacking on what we're talking about now, because my opinion, you know, if you're voting for Trump, you're pretty racist, maybe kind of stupid, but you're very selfish. You're an incredibly selfish person. So you said when you voted for Kamala, you wanted something different, and to me, I thought that was completely unselfish. As much like myself, you know, the Republican policies, I'm a business owner, would definitely benefit me. But, you know, I'm voting for mankind. I'm voting for us. I'm not going to vote for me, you know, like, and I've told people this, and obviously my MAGA friends, they can't fucking believe, they're besides themselves. If it costs me 10 or 20 grand more to have a Democrat president, it doesn't really bother me that much. I will figure it out. I'm fucking smart enough. How come you're not?
So
Your
let me
employees
ask,
are going
I'll
to be
ask you this.
happier.
You hear that, TJ?
Next time you talk to a MAGA, ask him this question: would you vote for Jeffrey Dahmer? Because you know you're not voting for policy. He's going to give you. You like his policy on no tax on tips. Would you vote for Hitler? You know, I really like his policy on no tax on overtime. Yeah. Hey, nobody's perfect. What he did to the Jews was bad, but you know, I benefited from. I mean, just think about the stupidity that you have to twist yourself into to think that.
Yeah.
No,
You
I
do.
know.
You do
I
have
know.
to-
It's well, I know. That's where I'm getting at. I think this country's become so selfish and so self-absorbed, and it's just, you know, I don't know how you break it. Like I said, guys like us working together, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's a start. Getting the word out more that regular people can think the way that we do, have conversations like we do, that we're not afraid of what other people think, you know? I mean, there's something about, you know, this macho MAGA, like, you know, this is the dominating and, you know.
Toxic masculinity.
The toxic masculinity. I mean, we live in Montana. There's a lot of chicks with that problem.
I'm scared of a few of them.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And they're my
fucking
good
scared.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah. They can grow a better mustache than me.
My friend who was a smoke jumper, she would kick my ass.
Well, and going to your point, when I voted for Harris, I actually think she's incredible. I think she would have done great things for this country. I voted for now, and I own a small business with my wife, and my taxes would have gone up. But I'm not a selfish prick. I voted for universal health care. I paid
Me
for my
too.
own college. It took me 6 years to get my AA, but you know what? I busted my ass. But I want somebody to have a chance that I didn't have. I want someone to get help
Yes.
started with the business, even though I wasn't. I wanted to tax the shit out of rich people, knowing that I would be taxed more because I'm not a selfish prick. That's the kind of country that I want to live in, but too many people are only worried about me. How much money can I get?
Yeah, well,
Well,
you got
then-
Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and Bezos and all these guys with your president. They're all that rich. They could all fix all the country's problems, you know, with the stroke of a pen. They could, but they're not those people. And then if you got a good rich person, it is a good person. Well, it's George Soros. He's all horrible. He's a pedophile.
God.
You know, he's fueling all this shit. Him and Bill Gates put their money in really good places. They spend a lot of money with nonprofits, but of course these people are fucking child
Look,
eaters.
They can't get. We've talked about this before. They can't get past. People cannot admit when they're wrong, and you know we probably suffer from some of that as well. And these people, they are so. They're so wrong, but they're going to double down because if they admit they're wrong, then it means there's something wrong with their whole entire lives and their whole entire self-worth and self-efficacy and vision of themselves. And if they admit that they're wrong, they just can't do it. I mean, they're not going to do it. They're always going to double down. The other thing that's going on is that we have, you know, this is pure colonialism. It's we got to divide. The way that we keep everybody down and keep the few at the top is to divide them into sectors that are constantly fighting with each other. One group gets a little bit more, the other group starts to agitate for a little bit more, and then a third group comes in and they kind of settle the arguments a little bit until that group is hated. I mean, that is pure colonialism, and that's that is re-overtaken in America. It's been a process since the 1980s when we started to increase the income gap under Reagan. And we're at the fruition point of that now. And Trump, like I have a cousin. I've talked about my cousin before. He's a longtime Republican, a Reagan Republican. And when Trump won, and the day that he pardoned all the J6ers, I said, "Congratulations, you guys have finally reached the pinnacle. This is what you've been working towards forever." And he's an anti-Trump guy, and he was so pissed at me because I told him that. But it's the truth. They've been working to this point, and this is the logical conclusion of all those policies that started under Reagan. We're going to get rid of the New Deal in this country because we have welfare queens in New York City, and who are those people? They're black people.
Oh,
and
I
so
hated
now,
those people in the 80s.
White people are, now he's got the poor white people under his thumb because they're white, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's lighten things up. Paul, we do segments on this show, so right now we're going to do one of our segments. And before we move on to our next topic, because I'm assuming you're going to be joining us for the whole show and be involved in these topics, because they're all pretty good and they're all relevant to what's going on here. But, Ryan, why don't you start with our next segment?
Our first topic is Venezuela.
No, segment. The segment, International Correspondent.
He has no idea.
What?
I mean,
okay, never mind. We're going to the first topic.
He doesn't have any clue. I
don't have the script in front of me on the TV. I got Paul.
If I could have, it's because I was trying to set up the joke.
Okay.
By saying
we're going right to imperialism, huh?
Yeah. By saying our first topic is Venezuela, and then I was going to say, we're going to go to our correspondent.
Well-oiled machine
but we
here.
couldn't even get there.
I'm letting you go. I'm letting you go.
We tried this sober once, and it didn't work out very well.
Keep drinking.
Yep.
So, now joining us is the Beer Buds and Big Sky podcast foreign affairs correspondent, TJ. TJ, what can you tell us about the situation on the ground in Caracas?
This shit fucked up.
Thank you, TJ. Anyway.
It is. That's what I've heard, too, down there.
That's the kind of hard-hitting analysis viewers have.
Was that the mayor of Indianapolis? Because it sure sounded like him.
It's closer. He's a little more clean cut.
That's the kind of pinpoint, hard-hitting analysis people have come to expect from the Beer Buds and Big Sky podcast. So Venezuela, my first thought when Trump bombed Venezuela was I immediately said, well, I better turn into cable news so I can hear endless roundtable discussions from pundits and fucking generals who obviously never learned a goddamn thing from Iraq.
Right. Nothing.
Oh, my God.
Well, and this is what they didn't need congressional approval because this was serving on a warrant.
Oh, God.
Holy fuck, I've heard it all now.
Rubio got up there and said, this is just a law enforcement operation,
so
aided by the military.
So we can bring Maduro up, so foreign presidents can be tried for their crimes in U.S. courts, but U.S. presidents, they're immune for their crimes. Sorry, that's just the way it works here in America.
Isn't it
And
amazing?
he just pardoned the Honduras president 400 tons of cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just pardoned him.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it's about drugs?
Yep.
It's completely insane.
But yeah, well, then they said it was drugs, and then what is the first word out of Trump's mouth? Oil.
Yep.
We're
So,
going to control the oil.
I mean, so we invade a country, we kidnap their leader, we bomb the country, we say we're running the country now, and that's not an act of war. But when a country sends cocaine to our country, where people willingly put it up their nose, that is an act of war.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sense of this.
Right? Yeah.
He's going to try to twist the Monroe Doctrine into justifying imperialism of the Western Hemisphere. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a reinstitution of an Iron Curtain of what happened in Central Europe after World War II. It's the falling of the Iron Curtain again. I haven't come up with a catchy name for it yet. So if you guys have any,
Yeah,
I was thinking
we'll
like
work on that.
the lace
Well,
curtain or I don't know.
Steve likes
Donald Trump.
Steve loves every week to lecture us on these arcane topics like the
Yes, he
Monroe
does.
Doctrine.
Yep.
But I've always understood it that it was not that the U.S. could invade anyone in South America. It was that the U.S. would guarantee European powers would not invade anyone in South America.
That's what that's what they meant.
That's how I always understood it.
Well, that's why the Don row is a little different.
Roosevelt changed that, actually. Roosevelt was the one that changed that, and here we go.
So
It's
Trump
the
is
Roosevelt,
right.
the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine.
So
It's
Trump
what
is
got
right.
us. It's what got us into Cuba.
Why would he call the Don row? Like, doesn't he know how stupid that fucking sounds?
Ed is triggered.
But the Don Row Doctrine. We'll call it the Don Row.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? This isn't a game, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him
It is for them. It's like Risk.
Yes.
It's the
That's
game
all
you
it is.
played. It's the game you played in your basement with your cousins. And if you're MAGA, you were hoping that you would get kissed. You'd get your first open mouth kiss.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you're from the South. That's how you guys do. Kiss your cousins. I don't know about
No, that's
that.
MAGA. That's MAGA
It
does
is
that.
MAGA.
We need a laugh
There's a
track on this
word
fucking
called-
show.
Do we need to talk about something, Steve?
on.
Were you touched?
Go ahead, Paul.
No.
There's a word.
There's
Paul.
MAGA.
there's a German word called Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
It means that people love the suffering of others.
Yeah.
And
Without a
people that
doubt.
have a lower self-esteem have a higher version of Schadenfreude. So for MAGA, when people suffer, I know it's going to sound bad, but they're like drug addicts.
Yeah.
The more that people suffer, it allows them to feel good about their shitty life.
They
That
do
is
feel
their
better about
version
themselves, you're
of
right.
joy. It's sad, but they get off on it.
Yep. And these MAGA people are impossible to talk to. Like,
God. I
don't debate 'em.
absolutely impossible to talk to.
Always in a bad mood.
Yep.
Always super serious about everything. Okay, real quick, little rant. I went into the local tire store. I'm gonna go get some fucking tires. Okay, I need
Yeah.
tires for my truck. I go, hey, my buddy, that's a really good mechanic, says get the fucking BF Goodrich KO3s. I'm like, okay. So I ask for KO3. He goes, that's a garbage tire. Okay, that's the first thing this motherfucker says to me, and you can tell he's MAGA head to toe. And just in a bad mood. And I'm the only guy in there. He's not real stressed out. It's not busy. And I'm like, instantly, I'm like, oh, I'm not buying from this guy. You know? I mean, all these kind of people I run into, and you do living in Montana, and they're in customer service. They're normally in tire shops or AutoZone or whatever. But always in a bad fucking mood.
Yeah.
AutoZone is a sponsor of this podcast, Ed. So
Yep.
be careful.
Is it? Sweet.
You know, and you try to talk to them about like, oh, well, this is wrong. You know, we shouldn't have, kidnapped, this other country's president.
Right.
And they say, well, I bet if we had done this to Israel and taken Netanyahu, you'd be singing a different tune, liberal.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
they're like,
right? They always do this. They say, "Oh, are you upset about a thing? Well, would you still be upset if the situation was completely different that I invented
Right.
in my head just for this argument?"
Fuck,
Yep.
yes, I
Yeah.
would be.
Why don't we just talk about what we're talking about and that's it, huh? Give me your honest opinion about what we're talking about. Don't bring up any analogies or anything like that. Let's talk about
But
what
you've
we're
got,
talking
like
about.
Paul said, they love to see other people in pain, and
Yeah.
they also have the cognitive dissonance that these people show is really stunning at this point. You know, you've got people on the news saying Nicolas Maduro is a tyrant who murders his own citizens. You know, this is after what federal law enforcement has done in this country for the last 2 days. They can still say that with a straight face.
Right, I know.
Well,
and then we're going to go and help. We're going to help Iran's protesters against their government. So since when do we care about brown protesters? I mean, what's going on here? Is Trump having a change of heart?
Well, I'm looking forward to 2025 when all these same pundits and retired generals are still on, or 2035.
Okay.
2035, when all these same pundits and retired generals are still on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, and they're saying, look, Venezuela was a mistake, but you need to get on board for bombing Iran.
Yep. You're right. Yep, just like Iraq was a mistake.
Yep, it's
but-
coming.
yeah, the Republican meme machine got revved up after this when, and they said, oh, now all of a sudden liberals care about dictators.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where were you?
And they
Go ahead, Paul. Yeah.
No, they look at this like a football game, right? Like you have the Republicans playing the Democrats, right? And you pay $50 for parking and $20 for a hot dog and $10 for a soda, and your team wins, right? You're like, woo, I owned you. and you both leave.
Yeah.
You didn't win shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You and I got hundreds of dollars of credit card debt. We didn't win shit.
Yeah.
They're not smart enough to understand it. They think because their team won, even though America lost, they're like, yeah, but we won. Trump's your daddy. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I can't afford to go out.
Yeah.
But I won. That's all that matters. Slab. Yeah, eat it.
Well, Ryan will say that he's a public defender. And he'll be looking at a guy that's going to jail for 5 years and being like, so he's like, yeah, right. That's right. Like, what? Trump won. We won. You're going to jail. Whatever. Trump won. Like, holy fuck, like this. Yeah. How does a regular guy, and here's what I don't get, Paul.
Get another flag for my four-wheeler.
And I'm a pretty liberal guy. Like, I would say I'm not your typical liberal, but very liberal, And I just don't understand, like, I don't know. I guess my opinion is different. Maga's opinion is different. Everybody's different. Opinions are different and everything. But I've never worshipped anybody. I really haven't. I've been pretty much an atheist since I got baptized, I guess, because that was about the last time we ever went to fucking church. And I don't even know why. I think that they just want, okay, he's baptized, now we're done. That's my parents, whatever. But never did I worship a president, an actor, a singer, anybody. I mean, maybe Neil Peart a little bit from Rush, because I fucking love them.
Springsteen, obviously.
Well, Springs, whatever. I'm not that way. And I'm pretty redneck. And I grew up like a lot of rednecks. I grew up farming with no money. This is how it was. And never worshipped anybody. What the fuck is this? And I've never seen it in this country before. I've never seen this in the. We have worshipped Elton John. We've worshipped Michael Jackson, that kind of shit. But we've never worshipped a fucking political leader. Never. And the first one we have, and other ones in the past leaders are probably like, damn. We miss out on a lot of money because Trump is making money on merch. Yep. This is a merch god, But why? What, in your opinion? Because you're looking into all this stuff. This fucking worshiping is nuts.
He's a cult leader.
Yep.
And they think that J.D. Vance is just going to step in.
Stuff. You're right. This is the only time you find it.
J.D. Vance has the personality of a grapefruit, right?
Yeah.
They're hoping that Donald Trump tears down democracy, and their handpicked white supremacist Grand Wizard J.D. Vance is just going to prance in there and take over. I really think it's very simple. There is a lot of white people that are triggered that the white people are going to be in the minority.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump
for sure.
is their Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's the replacement theory.
I will burn it. They would rather burn this country to the ground than have a black woman roll over it. And I really think it's that simple.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what he does. He symbolizes the declining white patriarchy, and it scares the shit out of him. I wish it was more complicated. I don't think it is.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. We talk about that on the show a lot. I just said it last week. I go, by 2040, everybody says that we're going to be the white people will be the minority. White man will be the minority, and brown cops are going to be beating up white people in 20 years from now. They see it coming. So I think by getting rid of everybody's health care, killing 10 million people that way, deporting 20 to 30 million brown people, they can extend it maybe 10 years. Is it really worth it when in the end game you're never going to fucking win this battle? But they're trying like crazy, and I think you're right. I think it's that easy.
Well, you know who our biggest friend is in this whole thing? It's RFK Jr. because he just released the new food pyramid. And guess what he put right at the top?
Oh my God.
Put red meat right at the fucking top of that food pyramid. MAGA, eat the red meat, motherfuckers.
Well, so Trump
eat it every day.
Trump is so into him and Maha, Make America Healthy Again, all this kind of stuff. They're
breakfast,
all these
lunch, and dinner.
And they're talking about how they're going to take all this shit out of our food and make us healthier. Meanwhile, deregulating all farming fucking fertilizers, spraying everything on every fruit and vegetable that the last 20 years we've been outlawing because it's giving people cancer. They don't allow it in any other country but ours, and they're bringing it all back now. Yeah. Come on, this is one thing that pisses me off and tells me that's how we get away with calling MAGA and these people stupid and in a cult. Because you believe a guy like is going to fucking make you healthier, but his buddy Donnie is fucking putting chemicals on our food more than we've ever had.
The worm ate my brain.
His whole cabinet is a bunch of asshats, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Donald Trump is a pedophile.
They're all sycophants.
Pete Hegseth assaults women and cheat on every wife he ever had. You have worm brains that had so many affairs that his own wife took her own life. Yep. Cut off the head of a whale and dropped a fucking dead bear in Central Park.
Yeah.
You have Matt Gaetz, who was nominated, who had sex with a 17-year-old girl. Yeah, this is the 18, baby.
Paid for.
Nothing but the best of the best in this cabinet. 50 Shades of White.
It's
Paul,
the DEI cabinet. It's to take the phrase of our great friend Charlie Kirk, friend of the podcast.
None of them are qualified.
When I look at a cabinet member, the first thing I think is this person qualified?
Yep.
Yeah, right. No, God, no. And the Republicans have been doing that for a long time. To their credit, they always put a total joke in the heads of these departments. You know what I mean? They just do it as a slap in the face to show their fucking followers that they think government's a joke too, even though they're making fucking billions of dollars off of it. You get a Democrat in the office, they put everybody at the head of administration went to school for that fucking job.
And you know what's really funny is they think the guy that has private airplanes with his own name on it, a mansion that takes a shit in a golden toilet, has hotels with his names and golf clubs, somehow that billionaire is relatable to the guy in Alabama that lives in a trailer that can't afford to pay his gas.
Right.
Well, they both hate brown people.
Make that make sense.
It's all got to be about the racism. It has to be at this point.
So, Paul,
It has to be the price of eggs.
You talked about winners and losers and how this is all a big game, and I was laughing about this yesterday, thinking about Venezuela, and I have a little note here that says, the real loser here is American manufacturing, because when I was a kid, you had to manufacture a reason for a war. You had to print out a map.
Yes.
You had to go to the UN. You had to make a little speech. You had to say these scary words, and now they just do it.
Yeah, I don't, and they're really stupid.
I'll do what I want.
Like, they don't, okay, Amazon as an example, right? They're going to create 600,000 new jobs, but wait, they're not. They're going to be AI or robots, so that's lost jobs. You have the soybean farmers, 50% of their crop goes to China. That's gone, but hey, let's bail out Argentina, Brazil, because he's so fucking smart, he's playing 8D chess.
Yeah.
You got farmers in the Midwest that sell wool to Canada. They used to. Now they're buying it from South America. That's gone. So what's going to happen is this idea of American exceptionalism, America first, it's bullshit, because we're a consumer-driven society, not a manufacturing. Yeah. So when the U.S. dollar is no longer used as a world currency, because this dumbass thinks he's playing 8D chess, when Canada, China, and Japan cash in our $2 trillion in debt, we're cooked.
We're cooked.
But they're too stupid to see that. They're dumb.
Well, I don't think they're too stupid. They're making money hand over fist off of this.
I mean the followers.
Oh, the followers. You're right.
MAGA in general, yes.
Yeah,
the average MAGA voter
and given how Trump's looked recently, I don't think it's 8D chess anymore. I think it's 3 dementia chess.
Yeah, 3 dementia. Yes.
He's eating the chess pieces.
Yeah,
he is.
But it's crazy when I did turn on the news when we bombed Venezuela, and I saw the same thing across CNN, across Fox, across MSNBC. They all talked about how Maduro was this brutal dictator who's not a legitimate president, and it's like it immediately made me think of the book Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky. A very famous book where he talks about the whole purpose of the American media is they are just a propaganda wing for the capitalist, imperialist American government. And it happened 20 years ago, and it's happening again now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to be back living in precedented times.
You're right. It is very precedented.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think that reinstating the fairness doctrine will bring that balance back, or do you think we're too far gone from that at this point?
I'm pretty cynical, so I tend to think we're way too far gone.
If we're not, it would take decades.
I think people are so comfortable in their little bubbles, myself included, that we're ensconced like ticks. Where I think we're too far gone.
Because I wonder if anything really does anything matter? Does anything matter? Because, you put something in there, Trump tweeted about Obama, his poll numbers on a tailspin, so he's going to bomb Syria. Obama golfed all the time, I'm never going to do it. But Obama did so many executive orders, I'm never going to do it. I mean, bam. I mean, he does. I mean, this is amazing stuff. This is amazing. And what's probably mostly amazing is, and we've talked about it before, MAGA is just, they're stubborn as fuck. They're dug in, and they know this. They know for a fact this is going on, but they're sucking it up. They're loving it, and they're still rooting this guy on. I mean, unbelievable.
And there's 2 things. Where's Congress?
Oh, fuck.
And where are the Democrats in Congress?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And where's their messaging about
Schumer
this?
and Hakeem are watching
Where's
gay
the
porn.
Easter Bunny? He should be here to save us. Santa
They're
Claus.
performing transgender
Shit,
surgeries.
It's crazy.
Well, even tonight, Elizabeth Warren voted with the Republicans to put through a nominee. Like, what in the hell are you people doing?
Yeah.
What are you
I
doing?
don't know,
Why?
man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And one thing I do know is my friends that are moderates that might consider a Democrat are just so turned off by Democrats that they will vote for somebody like Trump. That's a complete fucking shit show.
They don't like the pearl clutching. They don't like the autoclave that everything has to go through in order to be rinsed of any sanitized of any sort of objectionable language.
I mean,
they're tired of that shit. We're all tired of it.
I don't know. I mean, Ed was just saying these people don't believe in anything. I honestly think at this point, when I look at like the bombs going off in Venezuela, it's crazy. It's like baby boomers have a bucket list of countries they have to bomb before they die.
Right.
It's like they're checking off fucking seaside towns going through South Carolina and Georgia.
Well,
they're like, well, honey, we're here. We have to do Venezuela. We have to.
Lindsey Graham's one of those guys just going, yeah.
We'll get Iran
Cuba,
next
you're
year.
next. You're
It's
next.
crazy.
Colombia.
Madame Graham, by the way. Madame.
Kevin.
A word from our producer.
Producer Kevin's going to chime in.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering if Dick's just still reaping the benefits.
Dick's Burgers?
No, Cheney, baby.
Oh,
like
Dick Cheney,
in heaven that
he's
that,
reaping the benefits.
that Steve likes to talk to, that fictional place in the sky.
Yeah.
You think he's up there with just a big heart on, ready to get more fucking oil?
I think Dick is looking up at us, screaming his ass off right now. He's probably happy what's going on in Venezuela.
Probably is. There was unfinished business there,
But Iraq. So here's a question for Paul and Steve and maybe Ed. We'll see. So is this
going to the bathroom? Probably not.
Is this this whole Venezuela oil thing? Is this just Trump's Iran-Contra? Is this just him trying to increase funding?
No, they try and keep an eye on Contra secret.
Well,
It's totally different.
I'm talking about securing additional funding by just completely bypassing Congress. Because it sounds like that's the plan here. It
has nothing. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's my question.
No,
Go ahead,
he
Paul.
wants to be a dick. He wants imperialism.
I think it's part of his
wants
greater
to conquer the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's part of his greater plan because right after that, what did he start doing? We're talking about Greenland now, and he was on TV today talking about how we got to have it. We need it strategically. We need it. We got to have it.
He wants
but
to give
meanwhile, all you have to do is talk to them, and you can. There's like 11 bases that were there that could be reopened. I mean, it's not about anything but flexing our muscles. And then I don't know who was it that was on there today? I guess it was on NPR on my way home. That liberal radio show. True. But I think it was one of the Stevens.
Quinnell.
It wasn't me. He was saying,
Stephen A.
"We got to
Smith?
face the facts. We live in a world that's all about power."
Well,
and it's
that's true.
No, it was true.
Yeah.
It was true leading into World War I when we had militarism and nationalism. But post World War II, the world decided that is not a good way to live because how many people did we kill?
A lot.
About 40 million people in World War II. 40 million people.
And don't forget, we're under the Budapest Memorandum that was signed after the Cold War with Ukraine and the Baltic states. We're supposed to protect them if they disarm their weapons, and now we're siding with the country that's invading them.
Yep.
Right.
And I really believe, I think this is where the media gets it wrong. They're like, oh, he's just kidding. Oh, he doesn't mean that. Every time he says something, he does it. And then he keeps moving the goalpost. Yep. He wants to break up NATO. He does.
Yeah. And he pulled us out of 60 international agreements today with the UN.
I think I'll respond to your point, Steve, about Greenland, and he wants them to renounce their citizenship for anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000. That's his plan.
He's going to pay them.
Yeah, that's his plan. And my initial knee-jerk reaction on that was like, look, if these people are willing to give up their free health care, their free education, their paid time off, their paid paternity and maternity leave for a stimulus check from the government, we should welcome them with open arms. They're just as American as anyone else.
We need more dumb motherfucking people in this country. We need more dumbasses.
They'll get a red hat.
Yeah, they'll fit right in. Welcome, brother.
Let me ask a question about that, because this is the part he's an idiot, right? But when we signed this agreement, I think it was in the 50s or 60s with Greenland. They said you guys can put as many military bases as you want. I think at one point we had 12, and we wrote it down. If you guys want to mine, talk to us. What he's wanting to do, he can do it now. by just talking to them.
Exactly.
So there's something else going on there that he's not telling us, because I don't know if it's the tough guy thing, if he's got a small schlong and he wants to be like an alpha male too with stupid face. But he can do what he wants to do through a peaceful way, but he's choosing not to do that on purpose.
It's probably the
something
minerals.
with Russia.
It's probably the minerals up there.
It's probably with Putin. Who knows?
It's
you know,
either that or
there's
he's worried about global warming and he wants to protect Greenland.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, Paul, every week we do a little segment where I do a quote of the week, where I ask Ed, I read him a quote, and he has to guess who said it. So, Ed, here's our quote of the week.
Okay.
So, here's the quote. Whose boots are we talking about here? Because I have a 16-year-old boy, 12-year-old boy, and a 14-year-old girl who might have to fill those boots. I speak for a lot of mom and dads when I say I will not be joining the Fox News cheerleading brigade.
Ooh.
I think I know that, but I'm not going to say
Not
anything.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That was Megyn Kelly.
Oh,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That was Megyn
yesterday.
Kelly. You know, because we talked about
I just saw that on TikTok.
We talked about it on this show last week, where it's like they always say this, and it's like Tim Sheehy. He's not telling his kids not to go to college.
Right.
He's telling your kids not to go to college.
There's a lot of good comments on that.
So the Skeletor Playmate of the Month, Megyn Kelly.
Yes.
She's willing to stand up for the Constitution when it's her kids that the government might put a rifle in their hands.
Right.
Now all of a sudden she's against war when it's her kids, but when it's your kids, when it's poor kids from Montana that get sent to the desert to die, she's fine with that.
Yeah. She's also fine with men, older men, much older men, taking a liking to 14 and 15-year-old girls, because it's not like they're 8 years old.
Right. Well,
Right.
This is from the same disgusting fucking C word.
There's the almost legal.
and
I mean, I'd still throw it in her.
To
Just
Megyn-
in case you're watching, Megan, I'd still throw it in you, but I don't like you.
To Megan's credit, I will say, to Megan's credit, at least she's saying something, which is more than I can say for that fucking ghoul, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that Tulsi Gabbard has not resigned her post in shame tells you everything you need to know about
Money
our
and
rotten
power.
Have you seen her hair
Money
now?
and
She looks like
power.
Quella DeVille.
Money
She's got
and
one
power.
little
Yeah,
white
she is
hair.
Quella DeVille. You're right. She is, without
was,
a doubt.
At one time,
Right.
she was a very strong Democrat when she was representing
sellout.
Hawaii.
Exactly.
When she was
Yeah.
representing Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
She is the
I actually
master.
voted for her when I lived in Hawaii.
She is the master of. It's okay. You can just tell me what to believe. I have no principles. I don't believe in anything.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, aren't we still on?
Or is it a segment?
No, we're
Well,
still
hold
on the
on.
topic.
So I wanted to get Paul's thoughts on this before we move on.
Okay.
So, given that
The
Paul,
Somali fraud.
given that Paul isn't afraid to hammer on Democrats,
Not at
Chuck
all.
Schumer had a response to this Venezuelan nightmare.
God.
Oh my God, we're still on Venezuela.
He said Republicans must, if there ever was a time, they must step up to the plate. This is the time, and if they don't, they're gonna feel the heat.
Oh, ooh,
What, is he going to put icy hot on their nuts?
Yeah.
yes.
But I think that's a perfect example as why Trump would
That's
never.
what Schumer needs. Some
This
icy
is why Trump would never arrest any of the Democrats, because if he did, there's an actual chance that an opposition party could form.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
we all know that Chuck Schumer's the one that pushed through that CR, right? I mean, we're not stupid. We know that he did that.
No, for sure. No, I mean he's. I don't know.
They did pass a war powers resolution today. Through, through the Senate.
Big deal. They got 6 senators, right?
The president,
Five or 6
that's a resolution, so he doesn't have to sign
president
it,
said
or-
that these are
Has to be
that
signed,
all the Republicans that signed it should be voted out of office. They shouldn't be Republicans. Like anything. The thing is, part of being president is having some people disagree with you and working it out.
Yeah.
This motherfucker doesn't have that. Oh no.
Steve asked, "Where's Congress?" At this point, only a high dose of aspirin or a Big Mac can stop Donald Trump, because Congress ain't gonna do shit.
No, fuck no. Fuck no at all.
You got to go all the way up Trump's ass to see where Congress is.
Yes.
I mean, I'm serious. It's an absolute. I mean, I still remember under Nixon when the Republicans walked down to D.C. and said, "Get your ass out of here!" Like, I don't know what happened to that party, but it's gone.
Yep.
Well,
That's
it's
been going
amazing.
a
I
long
mean,
time.
it's crazy. You got one Republican, MTG. She's talking about it. Then she just fucking resigns. Thune says he's fucking done, so he doesn't have to agree with anything, you know? But every one of these other fuckers are towing the goddamn line, and it's blowing me away. Because I wake up every day thinking one of these motherfuckers is going to turn and say something smart.
Nope.
And it's definitely not going to be Lindsey Graham.
No.
It ain't gonna be Chuck Grassley because he don't know what the
Madame
fuck's
Graham.
going on. You know, somebody just told me this yesterday.
It was me.
Chuck Grassley was in the same election as John F. Kennedy.
He was on the same ballot as JFK.
same ballot
in
as JFK.
1960.
Holy
Yep.
shit.
No way.
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
When I interviewed Eric Swalwell, and they had conversations like in the locker room where they worked out, he's like, Eric, I can't do anything because my wife says we're going to get death threats. So I'm like, you know what? He's shitting on the entire country. You guys voted for him because you wanted to stay in power. You ginned up his stupid racist face with all this bullshit, but now you're just going to keep going along with it because you don't want your orange Jesus to be mad at you. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Grow some balls.
I
You should
agree
have
with
just
you.
said, you're going to die soon anyway, Chuck.
Dude, he ain't gonna grow balls.
Here,
We
here's
know
some
that.
red
Nobody's
meat.
gonna hold.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hold their breath for that one.
If Mitch McConnell would have had the balls to just say, you know what, this was wrong, all they needed was what, like 6 votes,
Yeah.
and he would have never came back. This is on Mitch McConnell too.
Yep.
It is. You're right.
Dead
Absolutely.
man walking.
So, Paul, you were talking
my
earlier
God.
about how white people are afraid, right? And they're afraid they're going to be in the minority. And I think that a spotlight was shown on that statement this week when we all heard about this Somali fraud that happened in Minnesota,
yes.
or this
The brown people.
this big fraud that got ginned up that took about 8 hours before we realized that it was all bullshit. So, you know, for those that haven't
It's
heard,
still going, though, with that stupid YouTuber. What's his name?
like Nick Shirley.
Nick
Shirley,
Shirley,
that's his
something.
name.
So for those that haven't heard, the Somalians in Minnesota were ordered to pay $2 million for charity fraud after misusing donor funds to pay for portraits of themselves, business advertisements, and sports memorabilia. Oh, sorry, my bad. That was Trump. Shit. That was
Was
Trump.
that his? That was his.
Yeah, that was his
nonprofit.
that was his charity fraud that
Yeah.
he was held accountable for. Shit. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting, Paul? I don't know if you saw that the convicted fraudster Amy Bach, she's the one who looks like she's going to go down for all this in Minnesota. She's a white lady.
White lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we're not
Tonight-
hearing any more about this.
So today on X, I was going to share this with you because you brought this up, and Elon Musk responded because this guy has like 8 kids with like 38 women or some
Yeah.
shit. If white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. Remember, if non-whites openly hate white men, while white men hold a collective majority, they will be 1,000 times more hostile and cruel than they are. And Elon Musk said 100%.
Yep. So
But
yeah.
go ahead.
Well,
But-
there's,
Spit it out.
people like white guys. People like white guys.
Sure, I love them.
If you look at if you look at the people who respond to our podcast, they like white guys who talk like us, who are real fucking people, who aren't fucking peckerwoods.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that they're the ones that need to go down. And that's the problem. And we got to get rid of the voices of people like Elon Musk. We don't need to silence them. We just need to push them back into the background where they belong, because they're not
You
the
have to-
majority.
yeah.
They're not the fucking majority.
You have
Most
to
of-
reverse Citizens United. You
Yep.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't JD Vance say that kid that did the fake story on the Somalian fraud should get a Pulitzer?
Yeah, he did.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
He'll get a FIFA prize instead.
Yeah.
You mean the same J.D. Vance that said that Trump was America's Hitler?
Yep. He called him a Nazi.
Yep. So this guy
That guy.
went to 2 daycare centers that were closed.
Nick
Close.
Shirley.
He went to an after-school center in the morning, and there weren't any kids there. Big shock there.
Yeah,
And then he
weird.
went to another daycare center, and he was upset when they wouldn't let him film the children.
Right. Which is completely fucking normal.
And it's like, call me crazy, but
Yeah.
I think I think it's pretty reasonable to keep the Epstein cover-up crew away from the children at the daycare.
It was like, remember the Geraldo Rivera thing in the late '90s where he was gonna
The vault?
he was gonna go
Yes.
into the vault.
Yeah,
So that's
man.
what that's what I was thinking. This whole thing is this made up bunch
look
of
at this-
bullshit.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in and we're gonna find all this stuff.
Pizzagate. I mean, like, the right just clings on to this stuff like
Yep.
it's a big deal and it's real and whatever, But what's scary is, I mean, hundreds of millions of people saw this story from this kid. This kid's making a lot of money. Somehow this kid was where, too, recently? He was in some foreign countries in Venezuela.
Probably.
He was doing a thing in Venezuela, being paid for by Turning Point, I believe.
Yeah.
I could be misrepresenting this, but I believe Turning Point.
No, you're completely sober. You got it all
Okay,
right.
I got it. I totally got it, dude. But these are these entities are funding these guys to go out, fully knowing that they're they're not real journalists. They're not doing real things, but they're just stoking this fire of hate for everybody and everything, and keeping this misinformation and the chaos. We got to keep that chaos at about 11. You know, normally we go to about 10, but under Trump we keep it at about 11. And Turning Point USA falls right into that. Steve Bannon falls into that. Alex Jones. Nobody condemns any of these motherfuckers. And you were right earlier too. Gavin Newsom to me, having Bannon on that show is like, what the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck are you giving this guy a stage? People like this don't deserve a stage. There's a problem with this fucking country because these dumbasses give these people a fucking stage. I mean, that's got to fucking end, Sorry, I'm getting off of Venezuela. We're on Venezuela.
We're not. We're on Somalia.
We're on Somalia.
Yeah. But I mean, we could
living in the past.
We could spend an hour right now just listing off people that were convicted, that committed fraud, were convicted of fraud, and then Trump pardoned them. I mean, there's God knows how many people that have happened in the last 2 weeks.
Lots of them.
Yeah. I think
Go
ahead,
what's
Paul.
interesting on that? I made a video last week about that. There was 15 people that committed felonies. 3 or 4 were breaking and entries. Of the people that he pardoned from January 6th, one of them threatened the life of Barack Obama. The other one threatened the life of Hakeem Jeffries. Another one died from a DUI. Another one is in prison for a vehicular manslaughter. And one of them molested a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah, we talked about that last week too. Yeah.
Sick.
I think my point here, my point
and the other ones all work for ICE.
Yeah. My point here with the entire
Those guys work for ICE too.
Somalian fraud thing is if you're only interested in fraud when it's committed by a person of color, maybe it's not actually the fraud that you're concerned about. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe that's not what you're angry about.
And my take on this is, one, it's not the fraud is bad. And if there was, and even Tim Walz admitted maybe that, that some of this money got away from them because they were worried about being called racist. And that's fair. Those are things that we should talk about and we should acknowledge. And it's okay to say those things that, we were wrong to let this get away. Okay, good. We're wrong to let them get away. We shouldn't let the other shit get away either. The problem, though, is that the fraud is not in – this is where the fraud is, right? The fraud is in these government contracts, these grants that are given away. Yeah. That's where the money goes. That's the fraud. That's where the chainsaw should have come down from Elon Musk, because that's where the fraud is. The fraud is the $900 hammer that the government is buying from Northrop Grumman or from SpaceX or whatever it fucking is. That's where all of the fraud is. It's not in the people that got the – how many – Forest Service workers lost their jobs in the last year. The people from the IRS that lost their jobs. That is not where the fraud is. And if we get rid of the IRS, guess what? Tax fraud is going to be fucking rampant. And collections are going to go down. And so is revenue from...
I'm rolling dice lately. I know who's in charge.
Some of the revenue is going down too. So
and I put a lot of that on the Democrats. Because I still think it's very simple. Hey, Nick, whatever, cool. Let's just say the Somalian thing, whatever, right? You still voted for a rapist and a convicted felon. What fucking moral high ground do you have going after a Somali daycare? It's grifting to stupid, racist white people. Yep. And they did the same thing last year with Lincoln Riley. Yeah. Out of 41,000 gun deaths. Look at this white girl. Oh, look, the brown person from Mexico. Let's put her on a bill. But if Ahmaud Arbery is chased down by 3 racist white guys, hey, thoughts and prayers. Yep. There's nothing we can do. Right. If 7-year-olds are murdered in schools or Senator Hortman shot with her fucking dog and her husband, hey, thoughts and prayers. But if you're a racist podcaster, we're going to treat you like Jesus and build a monument and kiss your ass every day. Yeah. This is what they do. It is the white victim card.
Yeah. So there might be a silver lining.
How did the whites get to be the victims in all this shit?
What a country.
I don't get it.
What a country.
No, J.D. Vance said it's okay to be white again, didn't he?
Goddamn, what a country.
J.D. Vance said it's great, good to be white. It's okay to be white again.
So how about this is a little
weight was lifted off
silver
my
lining, Ed.
All right, I like it. I like
so this story, Tim Walz dropped out of the race, right?
Better than a brown lining.
So Tim Walz is not running for governor. What if this happens? Amy Klobuchar steps in.
Fuck her.
Meaning she would resign from the Senate.
Fuck her.
Meaning Tim Walz, in his lame duck, appoints Al Franken to her Senate seat.
Okay, that I like.
There we go.
Right?
I like
Bring
Al
back the
Franken. I
Franken.
thought
How
he was,
about that?
he's one of the last politicians we had that actually made sense.
Right?
He was a regular fucking dude. He wasn't bought by anybody. You know, and that's
would
kind
be
of
a
why
nice-
he was forced
that'd
out
be
too.
a nice silver
He didn't
lining
toe
out
the
of all
fucking
this.
line.
Why'd he
was
get
funny as
canceled?
fuck.
Did he
Because
touch a boob?
he went like this with a joke.
Someone was
As a
sleeping in a
joke.
chair and he
went
went
to
like
grab
this.
their boobs
you
and took a
know.
picture of it to
Never
make fun.
actually touched him.
Never
yeah.
touched him. Just made it look like it, and the Democrats got rid
It's
of
a
him.
different time back
Well, he resigned
Wait,
for whatever
he
reason.
he got kicked out of the party for that.
Yep.
But the
Yeah.
guy in the White House is a rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
Well, okay.
So,
Well,
so
can
the Democrats are known for taking the higher ground, I suppose.
So the ultimate thing about the other point I wanted to make about this is that the ultimate problem with this and the consequences that are flowing out of this is that what did Trump do as a result of all this Somali fraud? What did he say? He said, "Well, we got to get ICE into Minneapolis."
yeah.
Well, yeah, because obviously
And
the
then-
fraudsters aren't accountants
Yeah.
in a room counting money. They're out on the streets.
Right.
Which
They're-
brings
they
us
are-
to our last topic.
they're-
The tragic ICE shooting yesterday in Minneapolis. The same city and only a mile away
Sorry,
from where...
we have to do a segment before the last story.
Oh, yeah.
We're sorry, Ryan. We're trying to script this and be a little better, Paul. So bear with us. It's
working so well.
Kevin's just. Oh no, what happened? We never went live.
No, he.
Miami. Miami?
Well, they're up 17,
14
16
still?
now.
What? A
Miami
safety?
or the Ole Miss dicked one off the upright and then kicked another one to get 16 off the upright, but in.
Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
we're gonna
Wow.
go to a segment. It's a new segment we're trying here on the show. It's called Ed is Pissed.
No, this is not the segment. Not yet. Bear with us, Paul. No. So last week or 2 weeks ago, we told a story about a guy that works for me, TJ. He went to the Border Patrol agent in the local grocery store and asked him for his papers. We thought that was pretty fucking hilarious, and only TJ would ask a Border Patrol agent for his papers. So apparently the Border Patrol wasn't real happy with him and followed him home. But anyway, we have TJ in the studio tonight. No, I think it's written in order, isn't it? Well, we have
Just keep
TJ.
going.
We have
But you
TJ
did it after he printed.
Keep going.
Oh, I changed it. We have TJ in the studio tonight. He's our production assistant for the evening. And he's got a news story. And, Paul, I hope you find this enlightening because I thought it was a great story and we want to share it with our audience. So, TJ, what happened? You found a hot date or something?
Yep. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a break from the riffraff here and a little bit of good home listening.
Okay, good.
So what happened to me the other week, I'm pretty obsessed with the Facebook dating and
Yeah,
random
you get laid
hookups.
pretty easy, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's great. I matched with this really, really attractive lady. We
And
talked
she was
for
young for you, right?
45.
Yeah.
Yeah. But super
old is he?
attractive, great pictures.
He's like 26.
Great body.
He likes them
and,
older.
I was really
But
excited.
you're not
to meet
talking. You're
this
not
girl.
talking about your mom, are you?
No.
I'm just asking. I'm not accusing you. It's just a question.
no.
I'm just
I
asking.
ain't from Mississippi. Now,
South Carolina.
I matched with this girl. We talked back and forth for a few days, and one morning she said good morning to me. It was pretty polite. I said good morning back. How are you? And she let me know that she was a little horny. And me being a 26-year-old man, I was a little horny myself. So I decided, to say, I'll come fuck you, like she asked me to. She sends me the address. It's butt fuck middle of nowhere. But me, being a horny 26-year-old, I drive out there, just raw dogging it, balls to the wall, no idea what's going to happen here. Show up to this cracked out property. It is Montana. It's kind of a normal thing, so I didn't really think much of it. I texted her that I was there, and she let me know that she lived off a room by the house, by the garage, basically, and just let myself in. And me being the adventurous soul, I did let myself in. I open up the door. All I see is white. There's this curtain in the way. I pull back that curtain, and it is a grown-ass man in a bra with his dick out. That's what happened to me. That's my story. If it could happen to me, it can happen to you.
It can, so be careful on that Facebook dating.
right, TJ.
Oh my
All right,
God.
well, thanks a lot for that
Thanks,
one, TJ.
TJ.
It takes a lot of balls to
Hey,
tell
we-
people that story.
yeah,
I
that's a
might have
tough
taken
one.
that one in the grave myself. But all right, all right. We're going to talk about. We got to talk about Minnesota.
The transition
Yeah.
is to Minnesota.
We have to talk
You
about
know,
it.
because
The
this is
reason-
something. And Paul, obviously, you've seen it. We've all seen it. Everybody
Yep.
has seen what happened. And here's the thing, and we're very used to the Trump administration and all these pundits telling us what we saw. Yes. Because obviously what they saw was completely fucking different than what fucking normal sane people saw. You know what I mean? Because none of us saw this woman violently driving her car into a person. Like
Nobody was stuck in a snowbank.
I mean, so I was listening to a representative out of the state of Wisconsin. Okay, his name was Derek Van Orden. He's been in the Senate or in the House for 3 years. Never heard of him, but he was on a Julie Mason show. And I can't believe she even gave him the time of the day to speak, because he's on there saying that, she was radicalized by left-wing media, radicalized. Well, how can you call her radicalized? Like, how do you, this woman just died hours ago, so she was radicalized. Oh, by CNN, by MSNBC, by the media, she's radicalized. Mike Johnson echoed the same fucking thing. The Speaker of our House, is saying that this woman was radicalized and she was a violent, breaker of the law. We all saw what happened, man.
Well, you know how you tell if somebody's radicalized? If they're carrying an assault rifle. That's how you tell if somebody's fucking radicalized.
Go to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I don't know if you've ever been to Coeur d'Alene.
Christ.
They brandish their firearms with pride there. TJ just gave me a dirty look. He's like, so do I, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not everybody who
When
carries
Benito
one is
Mussolini
radicalized,
When Benito Mussolini came into power, he ran something called El Papel del Tally, basically the tally paper. He would run it 6 days a week. For whatever reason, he didn't run it on Monday. I don't know why. And that propaganda was kind of like the first version of Fox, where you just lie and you lie and you lie and you lie and you lie. And then once he took over, his brother ran the paper. And that's how propaganda works. And that's how Hitler sold his Holocaust, right? You just blame the brown people, the Jewish people, for everything wrong. And that's what they're doing. It's pure propaganda. This lady is 37 years old. Her husband died a few years before from a sickness. She has a 6-year-old kid. She had stuffed animals in her car. Yeah, and then it's not even that, right? After she got shot, they left her there for 15 fucking minutes. Even though there was
with
a
a doctor there.
Asking to take her pulse, and they goes, no, get the F out of here.
They seemingly conspired to make sure she died.
Well, they also left. Like law enforcement, if there's a shooting, law enforcement responds, tries to make sure see if the person's alive, and then they cannot leave. They cannot
the FBI will not
fucking
let the
leave.
state do the investigation. They're cut off from all information, which I don't care. They don't need information. We all did see it. It was pretty easy to see, I mean, it was another scar in America's fucking, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. Every week we have this new scar, a new horrible thing that happens,
Well, and then you've got, we had
tumors.
We had
They're not
January.
scars.
We had January 6th 2 days ago, and the Venn diagram of people who are furious about Ashley Babbitt and have no sympathy for Renee Good is a fucking perfect circle.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Right?
insane.
And that just shows why you can't engage these mega people, because they don't believe in anything.
If the ICE agent would have died, there'd be half-mast flags everywhere. But a U.S. citizen, you know what?
Are you gonna die if you get your pinky toe run over?
We're probably lucky right
so.
now that they didn't kill a brown person, because there would probably be riots in Minneapolis right now.
Well, it's and go ahead, Paul.
Not just that. If she just wanted to run him over, why in the fuck did she back up and then turn her wheels to the right and try to go around it?
Yeah.
Why didn't she just hit the gas right there and run him over?
Oh, Mike Johnson would say
bullshit.
that's the way you correctly run over somebody to kill them.
Again, but is anybody surprised?
Aim for the pinky toe. Aim for the pinky toe.
Is anybody surprised? Pedophilia wasn't a red line for MAGA. What makes you think that the federal government killing an American citizen is a red line? It's sad to say, but it's like there is no bottom for these people.
There is no.
There is none.
No, and I hate to think we talk about the distraction of the files, and this is kind of it plays right into it.
Well, here's my take on it. I mean, Ed thinks it's all about distraction of the files. I think this is
right.
I don't. I think this is a coordinated. I think this is a coordinated movement by the right. They are moving off of own the libs to now kill the libs,
Right.
and this is actually a dress rehearsal for what's going to happen in November. These are training videos for what's going to happen in November. ICE is being trained right now to be in the streets, to harass people, no matter what they're doing in the streets now, so that when it comes to voting, If it's a place that's
Well, of
not,
course.
if it's a blue city, they're going to be all over the polling districts, all over the polling precincts doing this shit, and that's what's happening.
All this is obvious. It's going to be very bad. This November is going to be very bad. Mike Johnson just said that, this ICE attack by this 37-year-old mother. Attack. This is what Mike Johnson calls it. He says it appears to be the result of months-long rhetoric against law enforcement. Fuck you, Mike Johnson. Right. Once again, on this show, I'm going to have to say, fuck you, Mike Johnson. You fucking faggot. I fucking hate you. You fucking take the goddamn makeup off. Take your pretend wife, get rid of her. Shows who the fuck you're really in love with, Donald Trump, because that's who's sucking his knob, I'm sure. You just look at what he says and how he talks about him. How the fuck can you worship a man that much that Mike Johnson worships Trump? And again, Trump was Johnson, one of those people years ago, saying Trump's not, he's a fucking piece of shit. He doesn't belong in power.
It is one of those things that's like, I'm sure.
But the result of months-long rhetoric against Donald Trump.
Insane.
I mean, fucking A, dude.
Insane.
That part's insane.
And I'm sure it's very different where you live, Paul. But here where we live in northwest Montana, we constantly see people driving around with these "Don't Tread on Me" flags hanging out the back of their trucks.
We have license plates. You get a license plate.
Oh, yeah, we got license plates.
So it's like MAGA is full of these people where they drive around with these "Don't Tread on Me" stickers, but at the same time they think a federal agent should be able to murder a citizen if they get spooked like a horse.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. But yeah, I can imagine this is as close as you would get to living around in the late 60s, around Vietnam.
Yeah.
Right now, and the last time Trump was president too, during the George Floyd thing. All these things play into what him and Bannon and this administration wants to see happen to America. They want the turmoil. They want the constant crisis. They want the deflection because behind our backs, they're doing whatever the fuck they want, and they're enriching themselves by the billions.
They're creating a government that's going to be run by a strong man for as long as they can maintain power.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to turn us into a third world fucking country because that's who rules third world countries.
Well,
and Russia is a third world country for the most part. And that's
except Moscow's one
exactly
of the cleanest cities in the world.
what's happening. I mean, I don't know. Do you see similar trends like that, Paul? Or
we're not we've never been the greatest country in the world except for white people. We lead the world in gun violence, probably racism, incarcerations, and military spending. We have a $4 trillion budget. Now he wants to raise it to $1.5 trillion. But we can't even give people health care.
And people commit suicide because they can't afford health insurance and they want to be a burden on their family.
And he took money away from the military, and they're still supporting him.
Yep.
Insane.
There's going to be, it's going to be the Hunger Games. And there's going to be so much wealth to like 5 people that everybody's going to be fighting over breadcrumbs, and they're fighting over the wrong things. And I hope that people wake up. I don't know what that line's going to be, but maybe when they lose their homes, maybe when they can't afford to have jobs, because I could assure you in the next 3 to 6 months, this job market, and when the U.S. dollar goes down more, it's going to get really bad. So people better wake up because it's going to get nasty. It's going to come to your front door or your bank account real soon.
Paul, you talked about, the white male patriarchy and how they've been treated differently and how this country's based on that. And I was thinking about it this morning because, Ed and I are golfers. We golf a ton. Think about, Trump is now justifying a murder of a woman who committed essentially the same offense as U.S. Open champion Scotty Scheffler did.
Yeah.
Right? Does everyone remember that story where it's like, the cop said he ran him over and drug him behind his car. Scotty
did actually. He did actually. The guy was like drugged. He had his hand on the door handle, and Scotty drove off.
Scotty did way more than this girl did.
Yes, I know.
That Scotty should have gotten his head blown smooth off. Yeah. I mean,
well, that's not going to happen.
Well, but those were actually cops. Those weren't
golfer.
ICE agents. Yeah. ICE agents aren't police.
Right.
They're not police. They are there to enforce immigration law, and that is it. That's their only job.
And Paul was the one who brought up Melissa Hortman, the Minnesota senator that was assassinated. So it's of no surprise that a woman in Minnesota would be a little hesitant to follow an order of a masked man who says he's a cop. Given what happened to Melissa Ortman.
Wow, that's a horrible analogy, but you're spot on with that one.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. He showed up at her door, said, I'm a cop. He had a mask on, and then he killed her.
Again, she didn't have a flag at half-mast for her, but Charlie Kirk did. No.
So is the NFL going to have a moment of silence for her this weekend, or is that just for racist podcasters?
Probably racist podcasters.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out the rules here, okay? Yeah. I don't make the rules.
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, this is Nazi Germany. I mean, we have to stop kidding ourselves. We have concentration camps that people are dying in.
Well,
we have people being racially profiled. We have 200 U.S. citizens that have been arrested. We got 2 days in a row now where ICE agents that are some mediocre white men that are trying to be tough guys because they were kicked off the baseball team in third grade that want to be tough guys and with 3 percenters because they're insecure little bitches. I mean, that's where we are as a country. We are not a great country. We think we are. We say we are, but we're not.
Did you see the one kid punk him at the high school in Minnesota yesterday?
I did.
What? It was awesome. He got up right in his face, and the kid just shucked him. Perfect shuck move. He must be a left guard. He must be a very good left guard.
In whose face?
A 16-year-old, an ICE agent did.
To an ICE agent?
Yeah, it was fucking great. And then everybody swarmed him, but it was like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
He deserved every bit that he got.
Well, I just want to give some oxygen to this woman and just, her name is Renee Nicole Good.
Yep. That is her name.
Renee Nicole Good.
Did you see what Trump said about his statement after the...
Oh, no. Yeah, I did.
He said a Minneapolis woman viciously ran over the officer, and it's hard to believe he's alive.
Still alive.
Yeah. I mean, they said on Fox News he's still in the hospital.
The fact that 40% of this country will believe what Trump said, just say, oh, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that he's alive, shows how cooked we are.
That's how fucked we are, and that's how we are not the best country in the world.
And then there was some news article today that said that a year ago he was almost run over as a police officer or something like that.
He was drugged from a car.
Oh, he drugged from a car.
Was he in Louisville?
Yes, somebody drove off, and he was
Scotty Scheffler?
like hanging on the side of it or something like that. It was the same guy. It's the second time he's done something like
Well,
this.
Paul, before we let you go, I want to know your prediction on this and how they're spinning it. Because if you ask me, dude, you can't fucking spin this one. You can't fucking spin something that somebody has seen, that millions of people have seen on the same fucking TV, on the same social media. We saw this. This was cold-blooded fucking murder. This bullshit excuse of, he was threatened and he had to do that. Shoot, there was an FBI, a guy that trained fucking FBI, he trained FBI agents how to use guns. This was his job. He was on a news channel today. He was on Dan Abrams' show, I believe. Dan Abrams does a talk show during the day. And he said, we train our agents in that situation to shoot the tires. That is what you do, because if you shoot the tires, they are not going to go anywhere. I mean, and this just proves that the ICE agents are not trained whatsoever. I believe they're given that $50,000 bonus, and they're given a fucking gun and say, go to work, get as many brown people as you can. That's how fucked up this whole thing is, I think. And so what's your prediction on how America's going to really see this, say, in a week or two? Are we going to have any common sense at all, or is the Trump administration going to once again win with propaganda and lies and say that this woman was a violent fucking terrorist?
They'll protest for a day or two, then go back to watching Netflix.
Fuck! You're probably right.
I'm being honest.
You're a cynic.
I mean, white people are unwilling to be uncomfortable unless it affects them. I wish that wasn't true. They're going to have to lose their jobs. They're going to have to lose friends and family. I've lost friends and family, and I really don't care. Because if you voted for a rapist, you're a shitty person.
Yeah.
And, I got family like that. I don't understand. I never thought I would lose family over politics. You're not. You're a shitty person. You voted for a pedophile.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't understand why people at my school don't want to talk to me. Because you voted for a rapist, dude. That's why. And I just don't know what it's going to take, because the reality is people still think that the Democratic Party, and this is what drives me nuts, vote in the midterms. We're in January. That's in November. You think we're going to make it another 11 months at this rate?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And what are the chances that if the Democrats do take the House back, the line becomes, we need more funding for ICE so we can train them better?
Right.
And that's exactly what the Democrats are saying right now. They're saying, there's a split in the Democratic Party. Should they fund ICE? Because they're going to say, Oh, you're in a moderate district. Are you saying you're
James
against
tells-
ICE?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's the problem.
Paul is exactly right.
That is so right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
If I was in the House right now, and this is just me, I would sit there for 24 hours a day until I got every motherfucking member with me. And I would protest everything. I would just list off everything Donald Trump has done. I would list every fucking day he's golfed, every executive order he's made, every lie he's made, every time he's broken the Constitution. I just wouldn't let off the gas pedal there, because if there's nothing else you can do, at least draw attention to what a fucking buffoon this guy is and get somebody to fucking realize it, you know?
It's gonna have to be the. Listen, I've given up on the Democrats. Even today,
I
Eric
know.
Swalwell, he's given a strongly worded message. Oh, you guys better buckle up, because come November, when we take the majority, we're going to hold hearings. Oh, no, Eric, please, not hearings. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Especially
Why don't you open another January 6th investigation, Eric? Please, don't do that.
APAC edited testimonies.
Well, here, I think we should start to try to wrap this up. So I'm going
There
to
we
just give
are.
my final word on this. Does anybody else see the beautiful poetic irony in the fact that this woman's last name is Good, and that now, I mean, on our Facebook page this week, we talked about how MAGA hates everything that's good in America, and now we have an actual physical manifestation of MAGA killing good in America.
I mean, maybe I'm just cynical, but I don't think anything's really going to change. I think Americans are the least rebellious people on the planet. But at the same time, they like to congratulate themselves on how rebellious they are when their two favorite people in the world are the cops and my boss. So I think this is just another dark day in American history. I don't think anything's going to change. Well, actually, that's not true. I think it will change. I think it'll just change for the worse.
Yeah, it probably will. Well, my final thoughts
Point,
are
counterpoint.
my final thoughts for all Democrats that are running. Just
Not for the whole podcast.
Put
just
the
for
blinders
segment.
on. Focus on dark money. Americans don't like that. Focus on healthcare. We don't understand why we don't have it free and everybody else does. Focus on income equality, because that's a big deal. It's in the news every day now. And just definitely focus on affordability. Why do things cost so much? Yeah. And come up with solutions. Don't just say, I'm not a fucking Republican. Tell me how the fuck you're going to make things cheaper, bro, and make it livable. Paul, what
Final
do you got?
thoughts,
I want
Paul?
your final thought.
I agree with you. I mean, you have to criticize both parties are complicit in this. They just are. I always look at this, and I think I said this earlier, when I think about the George Floyd thing, right? The Republicans are Derek Chauvin and the Democrats are the three officers watching it happen. Yep. They are both complicit in different ways.
Yep.
And I need people on the left to fucking stop saying, what do you want them to do? They're in the minority. If that's your case, then take away their fucking $880,000 salary, because if that's how you look at it, then they shouldn't get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because it's bullshit. Yeah. They're complicit through their silence. And I'll say this one quote because I love it. Martin Luther King, he said, we're not going to remember the words of our enemies, rather the silence of our friends. And right now, the Democrats are fucking church mice.
Yep.
Dude, big time. Yep. Fuck them. Fuck them to hell.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep my head up. I'm gonna stay a little optimistic because the midterms normally go the other way anyway. But even if it does go towards the Democrats, one thing we can count on, they're gonna fuck it up.
They will fuck it up.
Yeah.
They will.
Hey, Paul, it's been great chatting with you.
It's been great, Paul. Thank you very much for doing this.
Kevin got her done. Yeah, man. Paul, I'll talk to you soon. We'll talk about this collaboration.
Right.
We'll be emailing with you soon.
Yeah.
And you come up with anything clever, let me know.
I will.
This guy is full of clever. Everything that comes out of his mouth is clever.